I'm Danielle Flagg with Save Cannabis Weekly News with my guest, Alexis Quinones. Alexis Quinones is a senior attorney at Dynamic Law Group, and she specializes in cannabis and liquor law. She's here today to answer a bunch of our questions. Hi, Alexis. How are you today?
Hi, Danielle. I'm really happy to be here. I'm doing well, thanks.
Excellent. So we have a lot of questions, and we just are going to ask one and start out with maybe you can help all of our viewers that have written in and asked us certain questions.
Sure.
Number one, how is hemp different from marijuana?
Oh, yeah, that's a big one, and it's an important distinction that we make. So, and it's important because of all the changes we've had on the federal level with hemp and the 2018 Farm Bill. So the 2018 Farm Bill actually changes the definition of marijuana by excluding hemp. And hemp they define as all parts of cannabis sativa L plant that are on a dry weight basis 0.3% THC or less. Marijuana then is 0.3% THC, or I'm sorry, is greater than 0.3% THC on a dry weight basis.
Absolutely. So given those numbers and the different types of the differentiation that the law has put over cannabis now, what are the hemp laws in Washington?
Yeah, so the hemp laws in Washington have recently changed quite significantly, specifically because of the 2018 Farm Bill and the federal laws. So now that hemp is no longer a controlled substance, it can be treated like an agricultural commodity, which is what Washington's new law does, SB 5276, which took effect back in April. And what it does is it regulates producers, so growers of hemp. They still have to be licensed, just like they were under our old law that was a pilot program, but they have a lot more flexibility regarding, for example, seeds. We used to have to get seeds only in Washington state or through an FDA program that was a little bit difficult to deal with. So now farmers can get their hemp seeds from anywhere. They can get them internationally. They can get them from other states. They can, get them inside state. And what's really great that couldn't be done in the past is now those products can be sold across state lines as well. And Washington doesn't exclude international sales either. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's a really big thing for the farmers and for the growers.
Absolutely.
And for the patients as well, because we're able to bring in genetics from all over the world that have different healing properties in them.
Correct, exactly, yeah. This way they can really focus on growing an optimum product, and it allows Washington state to kind of meet the market that the rest of the country was already at. Oregon, for example, was well ahead of us. Oregon was growing, and my numbers may not be exactly accurate because they're off memory, but was growing something like 20,000 acres last year, and we were somewhere down around 3. It's, we were really falling behind this large market.
Oregon's hemp market exploded last year.
Absolutely.
It was absolutely crazy. So given all of that, is CBD even legal?
Sort of, So CBD, it comes from both hemp and marijuana, right? Because they're both under cannabis and they're both components of those plants. And as we know, the definition of those things is all parts of that plant. So hemp CBD is legal on a federal level to possess and to consume. Where it gets a little murky, though, is whether or not it's legal to process and sell. And so the 2018 Farm Bill specifically reserves the authority of the FDA to determine whether or not CBD can be utilized and consumed in food products and nutraceuticals, supplements, nutraceuticals, things like that. And right now the FDA views CBD as a pharmaceutical. And so, and as we know, pharmaceuticals can also be food. So we have to decide, or the FDA has to decide, whether or not CBD can be utilized in supplements and food products and sold, or just in pharmaceutical products. We're hoping, because of the demand of the market, that the FDA will go ahead and decide to create a program for CBD use in food and supplements. And we'll know that later this fall. First round of rules are expected to come out in August. We'll see. And so we'll have to have an update once we find out more from the FDA.
So now we know CBD from hemp is a little murky. But what about CBD from marijuana?
Oh, yeah. So CBD from marijuana is regulated just in state, as we know, because on a federal level, it's still illegal. So CBD from marijuana is regulated by I-502 and WAC 314.55. And those products that are created by licensed processors, sold to licensed retailers, and sold to the public, 21 and up, obviously, that is from these licensed retail shops, those products are legal in state.
I think it sounds like it's time for us to start calling our lawmakers and the FDA and making sure they're doing their due diligence and getting us our medicine as soon as possible.
I think that would be a good idea. Contact the FDA.
Right, absolutely. Contact your local lawmakers, contact the FDA, and make sure we get these CBD regulations on the books as soon as possible. That is my guest, Alexis Quinones. She's a senior attorney at Dynamic Law Group, specializing in cannabis, answering all of our questions today. Hi, again, I'm Danielle Flagg with Save Cannabis Weekly News, and this was my guest, Alexis Quinones.